Hey guys, I'm Andy and welcome back to Let's Play All the Games. Been a while since we checked in with y'all, so I thought it might be fun to do a quick video game pickups video, if you will, to show you kind of some of the things we've added to the collection over the last, well, week actually. It's been a really good week. It's been a great summer for collecting as well. I've picked up some things like 9 to 12 TurboGrafx games, a Sega Sports Dreamcast, a bunch of games for it. Really good summer in that regard. But this week in particular has been awesome, so I decided to do a video focusing only on what I've picked up this week. Hopefully I'll be able to bring these videos to you every week or so, because it's a rare week I don't pick up at least something gaming related, if not at least one thing, usually a lot. So every week or two, going to try to come back and show you the things we've added to the collection. So, without further ado, here's my video game pickups for the last week. Now all of this started with a trip up to Pittsburgh because I was tracking down a Sega Dreamcast game, that game being Dynamite Cop. Specifically went and targeted this game, found somebody who had it, was able to find a nice complete version with everything in it, so that was kind of nice. Why this game? Well, we specifically tracked this game down because we have an intention of playing it on the channel as part of a greater group of things we'll be playing on the channel. Won't tell you what that is in this video. We'll talk about that in a forthcoming vlog that will hopefully go up very soon, but if you were around last year for September, you probably have an idea of what's coming. And if not, well, at least you can watch us beat a lot of people up in Dynamite Cop. So, as part of that same transaction with the person I was able to get that from, I also was able to track down another gem in the same deal. This is a rarity. This is Nosferatu on the Super Nintendo, a very rare Super Nintendo game. Now, as you can see, the label is pretty well jacked. In fact, there's not much of it left. That actually let me get it fairly cheaply, which is the only reason I got it in the first place, because I want to try it out, want to play it. If I love the game, I don't mind getting a reproduction label for this if I'm going to hang on to it. If not, well, then somebody else can enjoy it for, you know, a price that's not too bad. Because again, this is a rarity. This is like a $80, $90, $100 game, somewhere in that range. Probably in the 80 to 90 range. But label damage pays off sometimes. So if you just want to play it, you can usually find a copy. While I was up in the Pittsburgh region, I hit several other stores, and the good luck kept going. I also found a copy of Blue Stinger for the Dreamcast. This is a little survival horror title, kind of dinosaur-based, kind of reminiscent of Dino Crisis, kind of completely not. Hard to even explain what's happening. I think there's aliens involved. I don't know, but it was reasonably priced. I never did check it out when I had my Dreamcast the first time around, so figured I'd give it a go. A couple of other oddities came my way this week. One of them was a gift from a friend of mine who was in town and happened to have it. And I had one of these originally, and I don't know what happened to it. But way back in, I want to say the summer of 2000, I think it was 2000, when Chrono Cross was released. It was like the summer of sequels for Square. It was Chrono Cross and something for like Legend of Mana, and something else came out. Anyway, the pre-order bonus for Chrono Cross was a clock, the Chrono Cross Clock. So he was kind enough to have an extra one and came and gave me one. How cool is that? It's really awesome. So that was nice of him. So, excuse me while I drop things here. Thank you, Brad. You are the awesome. Alongside that, I also came across this. This is a CD full of battle music from, well, not just Final Fantasy games, Square Enix games from, what is this, 87 through 96. So Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are represented. Chrono Trigger is represented. Romancing Saga 1, 2, and 3. A bunch of games we never got. Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. It's just an awesome thing of random battle music tracks. Now, it's not the main battle music for all of them. Some of them are boss battles, story-based battles, etc. But still a really cool little thing. And this was not too much. I was happy to find it. I don't know if this is the Japanese release or if it was released Japanese and English both. It's got some English, some Japanese. Either way, it's just a really cool thing to find. So, that was nice. Continuing back on my Pittsburgh journeys, I found a couple of the Wii games I've been tracking down. There aren't that many games I'm looking for on the Wii, but there were a couple. One of them is Haunted House. Spooky little game, fun, not too, you know, scary. Looked fun to play, but more importantly, it is in fact a sequel to Haunted House on the Atari. So this is a sequel 30 years in the making, and of course this is made by Atari. Had a devil of a time finding it, so I was happy to track that down. Also, for the Wii, Castlevania Judgment. Hey, do you know they made a Castlevania fighting game? and apparently they only put it on the Wii. Now, is it good? Probably not, but I've always been curious about it to see just how they put this together, what characters were included, and for $5, I took that chance with no regrets. Next up, we have some GameCube goodies I was able to track down, starting with Darkened Sky. Yeah, Darkened Sky. Okay, I had to double check the name. This is one of the most batshit crazy things in existence, for the reason being, this is a game entirely about Skittles. Officially branded Skittles in a game that also happens to be like a third-person action-adventure RPG, and supposedly a pretty decent game. And if not that, well, redhead on the cover, and I'm kind of partial to those two. What are you going to do? But Skittles, though. So we may have to check this out just to see how stupid crazy it is. Alongside that on the Cube, I was also able to pick up another good RPG, Baten Kaitos. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. This typically comes up in any list of GameCube RPGs in terms of ones you should play. I never did play it back in the day, so I always wanted to give it a go. Looking forward to it. Hopefully, it'll be a good one. And finally, speaking of batshit crazy games for the GameCube, Odama. Now, this didn't come with the mic. It does use the little-known GameCube microphone if you want it to. It doesn't need it. But what it does in the meantime is somehow it is the combination of pinball and real-time strategy. I don't know how, but you can see right here. Seriously. Pinball and RTS set somewhere in a, feudal samurai time. Okay, I'll try that. So, next up, PS3 stuff. As I've mentioned before in my life, I collect PS3 pretty heavily because it wasn't on, well, let me rephrase that, because it's on the shelf right now. I didn't do that PS1, I didn't do that PS2, I should have, and I have paid the price sometimes tracking those games down. So, PS3, not making that mistake. Was able to find a bunch of little fun ones for that. Hail to the Chimp, a stupid little game that you never frickin' find for PS3. It's stupid, no questions asked about it, but it was like $2.50 and adds to the collection. Let's see, speaking of fun little stupid games, Order Up. Kind of hard to find one that is for the PlayStation Move. It always looked kind of fun, and again, I'm taking a $5 chance on it, why not? So, Move games on the whole tend to be better than your average Wii game, if only because more thought and was put into them, and at least graphically they're better, so that's something. Let's see. Next up we have Mudge and the Forsaken Kingdom. A lot of people forget about this game. Came out on both systems, and it's very much a tale of a post-ecological disaster thing, and somebody trying to navigate their way through that. So I've been looking for that one for a while as well. Here's one that I've had a devil of a time with. Cartoon Network, let me get this name right. Punch Time Explosion XL. Think Super Smash Bros. With Cartoon Network characters. How exactly can I go wrong there? Well, I really can't. I mean, if I can have Dexter fighting Johnny Bravo, I sign my ass up. Fist of the North Star is up next. Most people don't even know this came out. Fist of the North Star is an anime and series that's been around for a long, long, long time. In fact, the first time I ever remember hearing about a Fist of the North Star game is on the original Game Boy. Not quite, well, the black and white, or if you prefer, the green and green original Game Boy. So, been wanting to check this one out for a while, too. I've never actually played a Fist of the North Star game, so my curiosity, hopefully, will be settled there. Let's see. Up next we have Untold Legends Dark Kingdom. This is from the very beginning of the run of PS3, early days. Sort of a top-down action-adventure RPG. Think Diablo. I mean, if my take on that is right. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But I'm curious about it. And I don't know if it ranked very highly, but again, it's an oddity, and I'm adding it to the collection. Because why not? Knight's Contract. This took me fucking forever to find a copy of, okay? I've searched all around Morgantown, it doesn't exist. Pittsburgh, I found one copy total. One. I personally am adding this to my list of top 10 rare PS3 games. This is like probably 9 or 10, but I believe that this belongs on there because in my efforts to track it down, it's not easy to find at all. I've found some pretty hard to find stuff. And in fact, there's things I've found way more copies of than this. So this, I think, is up the list, and it may climb, so keep an eye on that. Found this just a couple of days ago, walked into GameStop, and they had it. Another one I never see, The Awakened Fate Ultimatum. This came out a couple of years ago. It's a sequel to the sequel, but not a true story sequel, sort of a theoretical sequel to the Guided Fate Paradox. Another good JRPG series, and, well, NIS America. Can't go wrong with a good JRPG from NIS. Let's see, a couple more things here for you before we leave for the day. This walked into my store a couple of days ago, Yakuza 3. I have Yakuza 4, I have Yakuza Dead Souls. I do not have 3. Had a hard time tracking this down too, and suddenly it walks into my store. P.S. I work in a gaming store. I'm actually the manager of a local independent one recently. I'll talk about that in another vlog, but occasionally that helps with the rare game hunting, so Yakuza 3. Finally, remember how I said I wasn't collecting PS1 and PS2 games back when they were on the shelf, and I should have, and sometimes I have to pay the price for that when I want a game? Well, I got lucky and at least caught something of a deal on a game recently. I won't tell you how much I paid. I will say it was a deal, and it was a hell of a lot more than 20 bucks, but still a deal. Jennifer. Yes, Rule of Rose. Now, for those of you who've been around the channel, you know we already have a copy of Rule of Rose. Yes, in fact, we did play it on the channel. Go and check that out now if you like. It's a pretty cool playthrough. And we also have a tutorial on how to beat a notorious boss in that, the Mermaid Princess. But we only had the disc. Just the disc. That's all I was able to get back in the day. And back in the day, that was even a couple of years ago. So this came along, we've been wanting a complete copy forever, and found it. And this thing is perfect. I mean, as perfect as you could ever want it to be. So, I'm not sure what we're going to do with the other disc yet. We'll probably sell that to recoup the expense of this. Still pretty happy about that. Final thing, a spare of the OG toaster style NES. Yes, we already have an NES. Ours is a top loader, however. So I got this for a couple of reasons. One, it never hurts to have a spare NES, especially considering that we do a retro console library at our local convention, and may start doing that at other conventions as well. More importantly, however, and the biggest difference for somebody on YouTube, is that this has these guys. Meaning I can get an RCA out of this. RCA output out of this, rather. The top loader only does an RF signal that screws into your cable thing on the end. Now, in previous times, we've had to basically pass that through a VCR to get it to an RCA out, to get it into the Elgato, to, you know, go to the bottom of the sea and plug the hole where there's things. I don't know where I'm going with this, but the point is, it was a mess. This should solve that problem. And hopefully we can start doing more NES games soon because of that. So there you go. I think you'd agree it's been a hell of a week gaming pickup-wise. If you've picked anything up this week, let us know. Hit us up in the comments. Hit us up on Twitter at AllPlayTheGames. Or check us out on Tumblr, Tumblr/PlayAllTheGames or PlayAllTheGames/Tumblr. It'll be in the info. But, you know, hit us up in the comments. Let us know what you found, if you dig into these games, if you played them, because some of these I haven't yet. Leave me some tips. Let me know what you think about it. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, do so. Always more stuff to come, especially with 2 full themed months, September and Halloween, back to back. So that's going to be fun times too. And of course, if you have the moment and you like what we're doing, hit the like button, hit the share button, and do cool things. Thank you for your time. Until next time, see you, Space Cowboys.